Hey everyone, and welcome to Tech Day, this event of Tech Day. And Emil is live with us, and he will be speaking about intelligent documents in Azure. And over to you, Emil. Introduce yourself, and you can take it from here. We will end the session in 50 minutes, and we'll see if there are any questions. I will share the questions with you. And now you can introduce yourself and take it from here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Adna. And thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm super excited to be here. And thank you for the organizers for inviting me to share from the little I know with the community. So basically I will be walking us through develop solutions with Africa with close to a decade of experience. And I'm also the community lead at the Nigeria M35 community. I'm also a co-founder at the Nigeria Microsoft Copilot and AI community. Then for the security user group also, I'm also a co-lead here in Nigeria. My specializations are in Microsoft 365, Azure Cloud Security, and Azure AI. I'm actually certified in Azure AI Associate and a lot of other Microsoft certifications exam. So if you want to connect with me, so you can actually, get the, you can connect with me here on LinkedIn. That's, okay. 1 second. Is it okay now? Can you see my screen? All right, thank you so much. So you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to connect with everyone that wants to connect. So today in the agenda we have a lot to cover today. So we'll be going through an introduction, plan and Azure AI Document Intelligence solutions, using models with Azure AI Document Intelligence, plan Azure AI Document Intelligence resource, connect to Azure AI Document Intelligence, then general document analysis model and some other models. So let's jump into it, right? So today, forms are actually what some organizations use to communicate informations every day, and many people still manually extract data from forms to exchange information. And without AI services, people need to manually sort through forms documents to identify important information and then manually re-enter data to record it. And some may also need to complete these tasks in real time with customer. And if you consider some instances when someone needs to process data inform things around filing claims, enrolling new patients in an online management system. I remember going to the hospital that I was given a form to fill, and after picking it, they needed to manually enter it. But Azure Document Intelligence is one of the solutions that can actually help make that process faster, basically. Now, what is Azure Document Intelligence? Azure Document Intelligence is a cloud-based AI service that uses OCR and deep learning models to extract data from documents. It provides underlining models trained on thousands of forms examples and enabling high accuracy data extractions with no modeling training. So you don't need to actually train the data. Some of them are already pre-trained for you. And for the Azure Document Intelligence is actually one of the many Azure AI services, cloud-based AI services with a REST APIs and client library SDKs, right? And that can be used to build intelligence into your applications. And the this actually use what we call the OCR, which is optical character recognition capabilities, and deep learning models to extract text, key value pairs, selection marks, and even tables from documents. Now, the OCR captures document structures by creating or bounding boxes around the detected objects in an image, and the locations of the bounding boxes are recorded as coordinates in relation to the rest of the page. And Azure Document Intelligence Service returns these bounding boxes and data and other information in a structured form with the relation from the original file. And to build a high accuracy model from scratch, people need to actually build deep learning models. They use large amounts of compute resources and even a fixed long model training times. These factors could actually make a project infeasible basically. And what the Azure Document Intelligence provide is underlining models that has been trained on thousands of forms examples, and the underlining models enable you to do high accuracy data extraction from your form with little or no modeling training at all. Then, if you're going to plan for Azure Document Intelligence solution, we are going to look at things around how to use the pre-built document intelligence models, how we can quickly implement an AI solution, how we can extract data from forms with Azure Document Intelligence, how to automate extraction and even processing, creating a composed document intelligence model that combines multiple models for advanced analysis, and also to build a document intelligence custom skill for Azure AI search and customize AI solution for different specific needs. Now, Azure AI Document Intelligence, like I said earlier, is a service that can use to analyze forms and extract data. It actually offers an alternate to a manual data entry with lower cost and fewer errors. Most times, if you're trying to do something manually, there's possibility of human errors coming into play. But with these solutions, there is lower cost and fewer errors. And apart from that, the document intelligence is easy to use, but to create a reliable solution, you must actually understand its objects, such as models, such as APIs and tools. And in Azure Document, it can obtain different polling forms that you can use, and how your development team will build an AI data entry system and integrate it with your mobile, even your desktop application and your databases. Now, until recently, getting data from a completed form into a database or any other data source require that someone to enter it manually. And we know that manual data entry is actually slow. It's also an intensive task and can also be expensive, especially if you have thousands of forms to enter. And operators often make reading or typing errors that actually reduce the accuracy of your data. Then for manual data entry also, it was actually like the only opinion, the only option, because it was difficult for computers to actually recognize printed and or handwritten text. But now AI has become a commonplace and has enabled computers, right, to recognize patterns such as letter shapes in a piece of a text. Even with a high degree of accuracy, we can use AI as an alternate to manual data entry with lower cost and also fewer errors in the extracted data. Now, the document intelligence, which is the Azure service, is also can be used to analyze a form that is completed by your customers, by your partners, even by your employers or others, and extract this data that it contain into what you can actually use. Now, we can't talk about AI without mentioning responsible AI, right? Microsoft is actually very big on responsible AI, using AI responsibly, talking about some of the principles around fairness. For AI systems should actually treat people fairly, right? Regardless of the race, regardless of the belief, the gender, the sexuality, and even other factors. So it's very important that when an AI system is being built, this factor of fairness is actually incorporated into the system. Then the other one is a reliability and safety. AI systems should actually give a reliable answers with quantifiable confidence levels. Now, This slide I'm using for presentation was actually built by with an AI system. I used a Copilot in PowerPoint to actually build this presentation. Right, I had to go back to review if some of the some of the content are actually good, and is it actually the content I actually asked the AI using the generative feature. So reliability is actually very important in AI systems. Then privacy and security. AI systems should secure and protect sensitive data, right? It must operate within an applicable data protection law. So for privacy and security, it's very important that the AI system that you're building doesn't actually, go into people's privacy, start bringing out PII informations from their data source. And for the system also, there is need for inclusiveness. AI systems should be available to all users, so regardless of their ability. So if you have users with some disability, as we are building those AI systems, as we are building those AI softwares, regardless of their ability, it must actually the solution must actually include everybody should be able to use it. Then for transparency, which is another principle, is the AI system should actually operate understandably and openly. People should understand, okay, where is this data coming from this AI system, right? And AI system should also be there should be accountability with AI system. AI system should run on by accountable people. It's not as if you say, this system was the result was actually built by an AI, and then AI is actually accountable for it. So people that build the AI models should be responsible, right? Should be accountable for any outcome that comes from the AI system. Now let's jump back into using models, right, with Azure Open AIs. Now for you have to use a model to form an Azure AI document intelligence about the type of data you expect to be in the document you're analyzing. Like it helps in increasing accuracy of results and control structure of the output data. Now, for every output data, it's actually in a JSON format, which is actually one of the formats, right, that is actually important for our AI system. Then several pre-built model for common types of form and documents. So it actually helps you to quickly to create and deploy solutions, right? For every pre-built model, which you're going to look at in the demo, you're going to see now there are actually three pre-built models for general document analysis. We have the read, we have the general document, and we have the layout. We're going to see that when we get into the Azure AI Document Studio. Then other pre-built models, they're common in terms of invoices, receipts, then a tax form, W2, US tax forms, even the ID card also. There are also business card, even health insurance card. There are other pre-built models that are available. There are more pre-built models in the development. If you check the Azure AI documentations, you see that a lot of latest things that Microsoft is also adding to these models. And you can also create custom models for unusual or unique type of form. So when you have some unusual or unique type of forms, you can build your own custom models to actually fit into that particular use case. You can also associate multiple custom models trained on different types of documents into a single model, and users can submit forms for different types into a single service, which identify them and select the most appropriate custom model to use in their analysis. Now, there is a kind of a similarity between Azure AI Document Intelligence and the Azure AI Vision, but on the high level, they are actually different. Now, on the high level, the Azure AI Document Intelligence is a high-level AI service that enables developers to access data in forms quickly, and it includes sophisticated analysis of documents such as key value pairs. Talk about tables. You talk about content specific field. You talk about even the Azure AI Vision OCR. And on the other hand, if you want to extract simple words and text from pictures or form or documents, it is actually appropriate for that particular use case. For Azure AI Vision OCR, you just need to, if you need to extract simple words and text from pictures or from form or documents, this is when you use the Azure AI Vision OCR. Why for the Azure AI Document Intelligence, it includes everything. You want to identify key value pairs, you want to identify tables in the document, or you want to identify some context specific field, you use the Azure AI Document Intelligence for that. Now, we'll talk about the Azure AI Document Intelligence tools. What are some of the tools that are available for our Azure AI Document Intelligence tool? Now, the first we have is the Azure AI Document Intelligence Studio. Now, the Azure AI Document tools itself is provide a virtual tool for exploring and understanding the capabilities, support for analyzing sales invoice, and even integration into applications, supported languages, some of the C Sharp and .NET, the Java, even the Python, the JavaScript is also there, even with the RESTful web service for other accounts. So for integration with into apps, it enables users to scan receipts and even obtain prices, cost, and even custom details in the receipt. And information can be stored in the customer relationship management database. So if you have a CRM application, you can actually plug your Azure AI Document Intelligence into it, and it will store your information for you. Be it information that customers have filled on their forms, you want to plug it into your CRM applications, that capability is available for you. Now, if you need to plan our Azure AI document resources, now to build an Azure AI document intelligence solution, you must actually create and configure the necessary resources in your Azure subscription. So it's very important. You must actually have an Azure subscription, and when you are assessing the Azure AI documents to see if you can streamline your data entry workflow, and you can decide to deploy an Azure AI document solution that will analyze data from your form, and you must plan the deployment to support your requirements. It's very important. You must plan the deployment to support your requirements, and you want to know what resources to create in your Azure subscription. So basically, here we'll be looking at assessing Azure AI Document Intelligence for data entry workflows by analyzing data from forms, then planning deployment to support requirements, and to choose and create Azure document resource. We're going to see that in the demo, right? Now, the Azure Document Intelligence, again, we know is an Azure service that conforms to the Azure Resource Management model. So in our Azure portal, Azure AI Document Intelligence actually conform to how we manage all our Azure resources. And to create solution, you have to add resource to your Azure subscriptions, and you can actually choose from two options, either from the free, that's the FO, or also from the standard tier. That is also available. And if you're using the standard tier, it's very important to note that if your requests are being throttled, you can actually submit an Azure support request to increase the default limit, because for the standard tier, you can do more things compared to for the free tiers. And the free tier is not available for multi-service resource. What does this mean? So in Azure, we can actually create one particular Azure AI service, and different resources can be plugged into it. Our custom vision, our OCR, and different services in under our Azure services. But for free tiers, you cannot create one multi-service resource. What you have to do is to create individual resource. Then the processes of creating an Azure AI document is actually highlighted below. You can search for document intelligence, right, in your from the Azure portal, and you select create on the document intelligence page, right. And for the project details, you can select your subscriptions and resource group if you have created any. Then for instances, you can select a region that is near to your users, and by typing a unique name. And also for in terms of pricing and creation, you can select the pricing tiers and also review and create if validation pass. Let me quickly show that to us from the portal before we continue with the presentation. All right. So if you're in the Azure portal, for example, you're going to select you can either search for document intelligence, but because it's something I've already checked before, under your search you see document intelligence. That is one way. Another way is to go to the menu option and go to all services. Then in the all services, you're going to see different group services that's actually grouped into different category. Um, right? So one of them is the AI machine learning services. So under this AI machine learning services, you can simply look for the document intelligence, and you click on that. So that's actually one way. Another way. Now to create the document intelligence, you have to hit your create, right? Once you hit your create button, it takes you to the way you normally create your resources from the portal. It's almost the same, right? Almost the same. So the subscriptions, you select the subscriptions. If you have multiple subscriptions, you can just click on this drop down and be able to select that particular subscriptions, right? Then you want to, if you have a resource group already, you can select the resource group. But under the subscription, I don't have a resource group that is actually mine. So I'm going to click on create a new resource group. So I'm going to name this documents document intelligence. So we must ensure that the name is actually unique. Then click on OK. So we have a resource group. So the next is to select your region. The region, you have to select a region that is actually very close to your users that will be actually be using the solution. But for the purpose of this demo, I will leave that as default. Then what is the name that you want to call your resource? So I'm going to call the name, let me call it receipt analyzer. So it can actually be any name. Then this is a pricing tier. So we have the free and the standard. The free actually limits you to 500 pages per month, so you can only analyze 500 pages per month, and you have 20 calls per minute, right? Then 1 call per minute for training the data. While for the standard SO, you have call per minute for training the API. So I'm going to select the standard, and you can also view pricing details here by clicking on this, and it will open for you a URL for different. So you'll be able to see the on this page, you'll be able to see the pricing details based on regions. So depending on the regions that you select, you'll be able to see all the available regions that we have the document intelligence solutions. Then you'll be able to select the currency based on the region that you've selected. Then once you confirm everything is fine here, you can just click on review and create. So this will check if there is any anomaly that you need to check before you actually proceed. So while that is revealing, I'll just wait for that. It should take a few seconds to review. All right, so if all validations is passed, so automatically you'll be able to see these terms and condition. So by default, from a principle of responsible AI, it is always expected that you know the terms that are involved in building the AI, right? So we'll be able to see other things. So for networking, we have all networks, including the internet, can access this resource. Then you can click on create. We'll look at the security part of this shortly. So I'll wait for it to, so just the way our deployment will be initiated. So we'll allow it to actually deploy. All right. So that's actually the process that we just actually went through here of creating the Azure AI Document Intelligence resource. Now, the next thing, by the time the solution, by the time our solution is done creating, we'll be able to check how do we now connect to the Azure AI Document Intelligence. Now, the first thing first is that by the time the resource is created, our document intelligence resource is created, we're going to see two things, which is the endpoint and the access key. Those the endpoint and access key are actually required to connect to the Azure AI Document Intelligence. For example, now the endpoint is actually the URL. We're going to see it where the resource can actually be contacted. Why the access key is a unique string, that you can actually use. You can use to authenticate the call. Then after you obtain the endpoint and the access key from the Azure portal, what you do is to navigate to obtain actually you navigate to the resource that was created. We're going to do this shortly. You'll be able to select key and endpoint under the resource management, and from there you will be able to copy either the key one or the key two. So the reason why it's giving you two keys, because in case one of the key, maybe key one, is compromised and you want to regenerate the key, and for high availability, right, you can just move to key two pending on the time that you want to generate this. So once this key one is regenerated again, then you can go back and do that. Then you can store the values that is used in your application code. Let me quickly check if our resource is done deploying. Right, yeah. So our deployment is complete now. So we click on go to resource. So under go to resource, under the overview, you'll be able to see, okay, what is the name? This is the name of the resource. What is the status? It's active. What is the location? You'll be able to see the location, right? The subscription, right? Even the subscription ID. Now, if you click here to manage keys, so it takes you to the resource manager where you see the keys and endpoints. Now, these are the two keys I mentioned earlier, the key one and key two. So in case any of these keys compromised, right, you can actually, change to the other key and regenerate the other key. And the endpoint is this URL. So this is the URL you'll be giving to your developer that want to plug the solution into their applications. Now, under the activity logs here, you'll be able to monitor different activities. So basic things, that's basic Azure management, right? You see the overview from there, you see the activities that will give you data about what has been happening, to that particular subscription. Then if you need to grant somebody access, so IAM is also access control is where you can also, grant access. So these are just the basic stuff. Let me go back to the overview, right? So if you scroll down a bit, you will see get started. Now we'll talk about the document intelligence today in a bit. Let me go back to the presentation so we can. Yeah, all right. So let's go ahead. Now you have the option to choose different model type, right? Now the Azure AI Document Intelligence uses model to describe the document and the form to that you created. So you can choose between a pre-built model or you create your own. And for pre-built models, they are actually for common document types, and you can create and also train the models for unique documents. And for considerations, right? So many different forms or surveys. You can have common fields, right? Those are some of the considerations. And you can also learn about the pre-built and also the custom models. So when to use the pre-built and also when to use the custom models. Now, for our pre-built model, basically, it's for common document, like I mentioned. You can see the common documents around if you want to undo similar structure and key value pair and things around invoices and receipts that are common. And what is important about this pre-built model is that no training is required. With this pre-built model, you can quickly create a solution, right? Once the solution is created, you are able to use the solution. Now, for the general document analysis, we're going to see this by the time we go into the document studio. Now, for the general document analysis, there are actually three pre-built models, like I said earlier, that are designed to undo general documents and extract words, lines, structures, and other information, such as the language the document is written in. Now, for the read option, the read you use the read model to extract words and line from both printed and also handwritten documents. It also detects the language used right in the document. For the general, this helps you to extract key value pairs like I mentioned and tables in your document. While for layouts, in layouts you use this model to extract text, table, and also structured information from the form. And it can also recognize selection marks such as if you have checkboxes, if you have radio buttons, etc. If you have them there, you use the layer model for that. And this model will actually help you to recognize all that. Now, for specific document type, so we have different specific document type in our document intelligence studio. By the time we jump into the intelligence studio, we're going to see that. Now, there are other pre-built models, right, which are designed to undo and you can train on a specific and commonly used type of document. And some of the examples include the invoice. Now, you use this model to extract key informations from your sales invoice either in English and in Spanish. So these are the two languages that are supported at the moment. Then for the receipt as well, you use these models to extract data from printed and handwritten receipts. So if you have receipts, you receive a receipt from a particular a vendor or a partner that is supplying you with this pre-built model called receipts, you can extract data there. Then we have the W2, which is actually the United States government tax declaration form. So you can use that pre-built model to actually extract data from such information. Then for ID card, for example, for the ID document, you can use this model to extract data from the United States driver's license, even international passport as well. You can extract this. Then also, if you have a business card, I don't know if people are still using business cards these days, so you can extract the name, the contact details from business cards that are available. Then for our custom models, now apart from the pre-built models that we have, Azure Document Intelligence allows for the creation of custom models, right, for specific document types. Now, if this model actually provides more predictability and standardized results, because this model, you're the one that is designing it, you're the one that is building it based on the particular use case. And there are actually two kinds of this kind of model. We have the custom template model, which is a model for consistent visual templates. Then we have the custom neural models, which is actually a model for structured to unstructured documents. So whether or not your document is structured or is unstructured, you have those two kind of models that are actually built. So for custom model generally now, if the pre-built model does not suit your purposes, you can create a custom model and train it to analyze a specific type of document users will send to your Azure, document intelligence services. And also the general document analyzer pre-built model can also extract each information from these forms, and you might also be able to use them if your requirements are to obtain general documents. However, by using the custom model that is trained on form with a similar structured and also a key value pair, you will obtain a more predictability and also standardized results from your unusual form type. So to train most of these custom models, you must actually supply at least 5 examples, right, of the completed form. But the more examples you supply, the greater the what we call the confidence level will be. Now, the Azure Document Intelligence will we return when it analyzes the inputs. And the more varied your documents are in terms of structure, in terms of terminologies, the greater the number of examples documents you will need to actually supply to train a reliable model. So since the minimum is 5, there are other times that you need to supply additional forms so that you're training the more data your AI system has, the more intelligent it's actually become. And you can either supply a labeled data set to describe the expected data or allow the model to identify the key value pair and the table data based on what it finds in the example form, and also to make sure that your training forms include example that spans in for a full range of possible inputs. So you're looking at different type of inputs. For example, if you are expecting both handwritten and the printed entries, right? You must include them both in your training. And once you have trained the custom model in this way, what happens is that the document intelligence can accurately and predictably, right, identify information in your unique form. Now, this is actually something that is actually very important whenever you're trying to build a custom models. Now we have what we call a compose models. Now compose models consist of multiple custom models, and they are useful for classifying and analyzing unknown document types. They automatically classifies submitted forms, and the results include the doc type. So there's this doc type property that the result actually includes a doc type properties, yeah, that the result includes. And the standard pricing tiers allows for up to 100 custom models, right? While the free tiers only allows just the 5 model. Now for the composite model, it's actually a typical scenario where a composite model can actually helps when you don't know the submitted document type and you want to classify them and then analyze it. Now, they are also useful if you have multiple variations of form, each with a trained individual models. And when the user submit the form to the compose model, the document intelligence automatically classify it to determine which of the custom model, right, should be used in its analysis. Now you look at different custom model bring them together to form the composite model. And that can actually be helpful when you're using a lot of similar forms, or when you want to publish a single endpoint for all your form types. And it's important that the results, like I mentioned, from the composite model include a doc type property, which indicates that the custom models that was chosen to analyze each of the form. And again, if you're using the standard type, you have available 100 custom model. For the free pricing tier, you have the five models. Right, so let's go in depth now to try to understand the pre-built model. What are actually some of the things that we need to see, we need to check or consider for pre-built model? Now, pre-built models in Azure AI Document Intelligence enable you to extract data, right, from common form, like I mentioned, and document without training your own models. And these models are already trained on a large numbers of target form type, providing accurate and reliable results. And several pre-built models are trained on specific form type, while others extract values from the document with less specific. So you can see that for the pre-trained model, it extracts data from common forms and documents without training your own. So it is actually useful for extracting things around names, addresses, amounts on an invoice, and other information from the document. Then for the pre-built model, which are already trained with a large number of types and they provide accurate and reliable results, dealing with their intended forms. And other models extract values from documents with less specific structure. This helps with read general documents and as well as the layout. So what are some of the features of the pre-built model? Now, one of them is text extraction. So what this does is that it helps you to extract lines of text and words from handwritten and printed text. So whether or not it is handwritten by hand or it is printed by the computer, the text extraction feature is available to help you to extract text. Then for the key value pair, it extracts spans of text as a key value pair. So majorly, once those are extracted, it's extracted as a key value. You're able to recognize that, oh, these are key value pairs. Then for entities, it extract text as entities, including people, locations, and even dates as well. Then there are also selection marks for things around radio button and also the checkboxes also. Those are actually available for you. Then another feature is the tables. It helps you to extract tables in a scan form, including data in cells, in columns, and also the role heading as well. And it supports for a merge cell as well. So if you're using your Excel, for example, and you merge two or more cells together, this it has the capability, the pre-built model has the capability to help you to extract such a table. Then a field also, it helps you to identify values for a fixed set of fields for specific form types. So if you have some specific form types that are actually in fields, the pre-built models can also help you with that. So what are some of the input requirements, right? For input requirements, the pre-built model are very flexible, but you can help them to return accurate and helpful results by submitting one clear photo or a high quality scan for each document. So one of the five formats that is acceptable, either JPEG, the PNG, the BMP, and even the TIFF and the PDF, they are accepted. Then the Microsoft Office files are also accepted by the read model only. Now, in terms of file size, now for file size that is it must be lesser than 500 MB for standard tier, and it must be lesser than 4 MB for the free tier. So if you're using the free tier, you cannot upload a file that is more than 4 MB. But if you're using the standard tier, a file up to 50 MB can actually be uploaded, and that will help. And for image dimension, you can use an image dimension between 50 by 50 pixel and 1000 and 10,000 rather to 10,000 pixel as well. So the PDF dimension is available. Then even password protections, then text and embedded PDFs, even the page limitation. So for if you submit, if you can't submit a text embedded PDF file because they eliminate error in terms of their character recognition, Then the PDF and TIFF files can also have a number of pages, but in standard tiers, only 2,000 pages are analyzed, and in free tier, only the first two pages are analyzed. Now, if you want to compare the pre-built models, right? For the pre-built models around the read, the general, the layout, invoice, received, the W2 tax, the ID card, the business card as well. Now, for the read, the capability is always around from this table on text extractions. So this has capability on text extractions. While for the general documents, this has more of the capability except for the field here. The layout cannot do the key value pair, cannot also take note of the entity as well as the field as well. For the invoice, the only thing the invoice could not do for as a pre-built model is the entity, while for receipt, it cannot do for entity and also the selection mark as well as the table. For the W2 tax claim form, the entity is one of the limitation, while it can also do the rest. While for the ID documents, it can do the text extractions, the key value pair, and also the field, while it has limitation for others. So each of those pre-built models has their limitations. So depending on what you're trying to do, the pre-built model will be able to, you'll be able to know the pre-built model to actually use for your particular use case. So let's go back into our Azure AI Document Intelligence Studio and see one or two things there before we continue. All right. So from our Azure portal, I've shown it under the resource management here. What we actually needed is the key and endpoint to actually plug into our applications. Now, so navigate to the Document Intelligence Studio where we actually, can try out pre-built model with the Azure AI Document Intelligence Studio and things around the web service. You can actually design the web. Is a design as it's actually designed as a web service for custom application and also virtual exploration, things around exploring models virtually, and also we have sample documents that Microsoft can actually provide. So if you scroll down and we click on go to the Document Intelligence Studio, it's taking a while to load. All right, so where we are currently is our Document Intelligence Studio, and the first thing you will see is a get started page where you can get started. You can get documentation to learn more about the Document Intelligence Studio itself. Now, if you scroll down, we are able to see three things. We'll see the read, the layout, and the general document dimension. Now, let's try read, for example. Now, if you're trying any of them, it will actually require you to sign in. So once you're signing, basic things around setting up your which subscription you want to use, the resource group, right? So it's because I've actually signed in earlier. I've already set up that here before. All right, that's why it's taking me here. Let me close this and let me close this for now. Now we have a sample document here that we can actually try. Let me see the one. I can try. Okay, let me use this one. If you click on run analysis here, now we'll be able to see things. We're able to see things around the text on that context. If you go to results, we'll be able to see the JSON format of the output of what this has analyzed for us, and also the code that is actually doing the work behind the scene. Now let's go back to this. Now this will tell us something that there's a paragraph here, right? While the healthcare is still in the early stage of its AI journey, we are seeing pharmaceutical and other life sciences making major does. So we're able to see another text. So if you click on this, this will actually tell you what is analyzed there. If you click on this will also tell you what is analyzed there. If you go down, you'll be able to see these are different things that this was able to see. I don't have a document now. You can, if you have a particular file, right, that you have currently on your PC or from your OneDrive or any storage. If you click on this browse for file, I currently do not have any file that I want to actually test right now. But you'll be able to go to the location of the file and clicking on this run analysis, you'll be able to, it will help you to run the analysis because it is actually a prebuilt model. If you click on the analyze options, for example, now it tells you what do you want to analyze. So this helps you with some basic configurations, basic settings, right? And additional options for analyzing the document. Do you want to analyze the current document or all the documents? You have the option to set that here. And if you want to analyze all the page, or if you have a specific page that you want to analyze, okay, I only want to analyze 1, 2, 3, 7, 5 page, you have the option to set there. Then if there are barcodes here in the document you want to analyze, so you select this option for optional detection that, oh, for this particular document there's a barcode that needs to be analyzed. Then if there are language, you want to check the language section of the JSON output to see, right? Then depending on what you want to detect, if you check here, if you want an high resolution or a style format or a formula inside the particular document. Now, they are actually a pricing tiers, right? That you can see for it. If you select see pricing, you'll be able to see the charge around it. So once you're done with your analyzing option, you can just click on save and you proceed to analyzing your document. And once you analyze the document, it tells you it tells you the paragraph what is able to see, right, from this document. You can even see that even until maybe if I zoom in this document before I will be able to see it, right? But by default it was on this, and the Azure AI Document Intelligence Studio was still able to analyze on that particular document for us. I don't know if there are questions. Let me pick another sample. So for this, it's pretty different from that. If I click on run analysis, all right. So this tells me that there's a paragraph, and that paragraph has this the name. There's also another paragraph that stays that has a profile there. Then if you scroll down, you'll be able to see different things that the document was able to see. You'll be able to see different things that the document was able to see. If you go down again, let me run analysis on this before I go to the next. So these are different pre-built models that are being made available for us to analyze different things, and you can actually, if you want to, if you feel that this is not working for you, or the document that you're providing doesn't has the same format as this, what you can do is to build your own custom model. Let me go back to this. Now for layouts, let's try this out. Now, for those, the first one that we used earlier on read, the document does not have a kind of table or things inside. Now, for this, now we want to analyze. You can see that this document has a table there. Let's run the analysis and see what is going to be the output. Now, it tells me that there is a page header here, right? So it tells me that there is a title here, right? It's able to analyze different things for me. Let me go to another document, strictly table. Let me run analysis. So there is no selection marks here for this document. it tells me that this document has tables. There's a table one. If you scroll to the right, you see the table one. This document has a table. Then if you go here, you see the table two. It gives you details what you have in that table. Then if you go next, or you can even type the three, it takes you to the table three, and you're able to see what is in that particular table as well.
Yeah, just last few minutes.
So if we go down, we see some other pre-built models, things for invoices. So there are things that you can try out. So so if you have a particular invoice, all you just have to do is to browse for the file or fetch it from an URL. So if the invoice is currently saved in a OneDrive location, let me run an analysis for this invoice. So this give me what we call the accuracy that there's an amount due of 94%, which is a USD 610 US dollar. Yeah. So if I go down here, I'm able to see the amount due. So just on the form, I don't need to stress myself. So based on the data I want to populate in my either my ERP or my CRM application, I'm able to see the address. If I go down, I'm able to see the billing address recipient. I'm able to see the customer address as well. If we go down, the customer address recipient, the customer ID is there for me, the customer name. So it gives me different information about the form, about the invoice rather. If I check content, it's able to tell me that this form has there is one or two table in the form, right? There's first table, there's a second table here. Then if you check under results, this gives you the JSON format of what is being analyzed, and in the code, you'll be able to see the code too. Let's click on analyze option here. So the same information that we have. So for this now, for if you have a key value pair here, you can select this. Then depending on what you want as well, like I explained earlier, you can select that and you run it. Let me see if there are other forms, other invoices here.
Emmanuel, we are at the end of the
Let me run
session.
analysis. So that's some of the sample pre-built model that you can actually go into. I can see that our time is fast spent. So if there are questions, I would like to take some of the questions here before
So
I
I
drop off.
looked.
So there are still some things around calling the pre-built model, by using APIs. There are things around using the general document itself, the general document, the read layout. Then there are documents around financials, things around the ID and the tax model, the one I mentioned here. So these are the tax. You have the marriage certificate also here. So a credit card is coming new. Then contract, there's a business card. Then these are where you have the custom extraction models and as well as the custom classification model. So if this portal, this studio gives you a lot of access to other learning resources, things around documents, right? The documentations, their sites for where you can post a question and answer. There's even the Microsoft Lane, which is contains different informations. So if there are if you need additional resources, they're actually available for you. So the beautiful things about this document intelligence studio is that you don't have to write the code yourself. So you're just doing your upload, and the pre-built model is doing the analysis for you. So you don't have to stress yourself for a business organization, for your operator that are handling forms, that are handling different things for you, handling invoices, credit, receipts, and all that. They can have the solution, available for them to actually use and make their work to be more productive and to be more efficient. Thank you so much. I'll be stopping there for today.
Thank you so much, Emil, for your time today. And I don't see any question posted for it on all streaming platforms.
Hi, Hadna.
Yeah. And thank you so much for the valuable insights into intelligent documents in Azure. And
I can hear you in case you're talking.
yeah, and the recording will be available on our
I
YouTube
still can
channel.
hear you.
Can you hear me? I can hear you properly. So can you hear me? I think some audio issue. Emil can't hear me properly. But we are ending the full session here, and the recording will be available on our streaming platforms. And you can also reach out to Emil on his LinkedIn if you have any queries. Thank you so much, Emil, for your time,
Can you hear
and
me?
wish you a good day.